I'm Mike Hayne, and I'm talking to you. Today is November 4th, 2024. The time, 5 p.m., Las Vegas. A beautiful nursing home in the activities room. 5 p.m., temperature outside 64 degrees. So, right now, in October, right about the end of October, the weather became nice. That means it was very hot all the way through October, and that's weird. That should not have occurred. And that might mean it's going to be a cold winter in Las Vegas. Very cold, like it was in the winter of 2019. Okay, so I'm 70 years old and I'm in a nursing home, and I'm doing my best to finish these videos. This is what happened. I'm not an idiot. I know when somebody's stalking me, hurting me, going behind my back, trying to destroy me. So my entire life, for the past 4 decades at least, I have lived very good, decent and upright. And I have waited for these stalkers, these slanderers, who were actually plagiarizing my ideas. Because a movie is an idea. You don't look in the old days, you would look in the newspaper. You don't look in the newspaper and say a big 100-word essay about a movie. It's one sentence. Hey, an out-of-control shark, Jaws, or Star Wars, or the futuristic. It's the idea that they plagiarize. Plus, what I would always have would be an outline, and that's called a movie treatment. Now, the one thing we got to remember to say is, we don't do this for money, and that's where the society failed, and that's where it ended up ruined. And we still can't figure out the money part of all this, because it's ridiculous, okay? You got 50,000 people homeless in Hollywood. I call them the 50,000 homeless Elvis Presleys, because each one of them is betraying and fighting. And that's what I said happened to me in Las Vegas when I was elderly at the age of 63, up until 68 when I became crippled. Every person you meet is dodging, weaving, fighting, contending. Whoa! Now, I never watch TV, but I know that is the plot of many so-called reality shows. There's 10 contestants. One of them will have a fabulous house and fame, and the other 9 will be homeless in Hollywood. Now, I don't know about you, and this is the eve of the 2024 presidential election. Today is November 4th. But if you want to have a society like that, and then I also thought about something too. Maybe there are different places on earth, because I haven't been out of the United States. I only speak English. Maybe there's a place on the earth where you can live in peace and meditate and walk along the beach and be happy you got a little food for that day or something to smoke. You're not trying to do this demented, stupid, and we're going to have to say evil condition of telling somebody to save up money. You're going to work and you're going to save up money. Well, the way I learned economics is the money is what we use for trading. Okay? And if you have somebody taking money out of the trading, I can't go trade with you at the market. I have to carry my potatoes over there, and you carry your corn over there? That's free enterprise. I'll give you these potatoes. No, we carry the money over there. Now, if somebody's putting the money in their pocket because they're what they call skimming, because they're mentally defiled individuals, criminals, So the people in Hollywood that are homeless are not able to get along with each other. They're each one, I'm gonna pick your pocket. I'm gonna write a movie script and get $1 million from Steven Spielberg and all the other 49,999 homeless. Toodaloo, have a good life. That's the same thing that's happening at the southern border. Those people want to enter the United States and have a job at Burger King, have a car. Can you imagine that? If I wanted to be racist, I'd say, and they're going to have a leaf blower. You believe it? In the United States, you don't even have to sweep. They got a thing you put on your back and blows the leaves and along the sidewalk. But they're individually doing it. It's not an army attacking us. Each one of them owes $10,000 to the cartel, and they're making payments. So if you want to have a presidential election, and you're saying that the Democrats are going to give all the money to the immigrants, that's all. You better figure that about 25% of all that money they give to them is for that nice, honest, hard-working immigrant who does an excellent job at Jack in the Box, by the way. I wouldn't trust any of my friends from the baby boomer generation like to work there. They would feel they're too good to work. And they wouldn't do it right. It wouldn't taste right. The good, hard-working immigrant is paying 25% of his money, your tax dollars, if you want to be weird and like they're talking now, to the cartel. It's a major industry. It's probably the biggest industry in the world, the organized crime. And so what we always think is, did some of our, remember The Godfather? I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Hey, I'll kill your whole family. That's something I heard recently in these recent years. It's just ridiculous. Or, I'll give you $10,000 a month. It's called an offer you can't refuse. Organized crime is the biggest. And so who knows which one of our media people or politicians have accepted these bribes. But the individual immigrants, they're the same as the homeless. Each one of them is individually vying for his position or his family. Me and my family are going to have a nice house. Oh, you just stay over there by the wall. You can't have that. That's not working. I think if you studied the original documents, that was not the intentions. So I'm getting into politics and everything now, and the time is passing. I made some notes. I was going to try to stay on the topic. The nursing home. Okay, totalitarianism. People have all these definitions wrong, and they're taught in the universities wrong. Totalitarianism is when everyone thinks the same. And my research and my work for the past 50 years has been, how has television been teaching the people with messages? So you're eating your popcorn, and I actually saw the Brookings report from 1955. I'll never forget it. It said, we want to determine when a man comes home from the factory and sits down and opens a beer and watches TV with his wife and children, if we can embed messages. In the shows, and one of the early one was All in the Family. You got this real stupid jerk, and he's calling his wife dingbat, and he's calling the son-in-law meathead. If I was the son-in-law, and he called me meathead, I would have called him outside and had a Marcus of Queensberry fight with him and punched him out when I was 21. Anyone. I don't care who they are or how much of a freak they are because they're tall. I still would have punched them out. They got a lot to learn. So totalitarianism means over the past 50 years of television, they've had little messages in there. Okay, so now I'm looking at it, I'm boiling it down. I'm trying to get this writing down before I die. Okay. The Nazis in the Third Reich, they had something called master race. And what that meant was a person was tall, a person was strong, a person did not believe in God. Instead, they believed in Darwinism. You can't believe in God. Just like the Jews were killed, the Catholics were killed too. Anyone that believes in God. So, tall, strong, and don't believe in God. Now, does that sound like any place that we know about? Sounds like California. So, tall, strong, don't believe in God. And then the outsider. Now, the racists and the Nazis, they always have racism. So they had Jewish as the ones that they were going to kill or deport. The United States doesn't have that. We have insiders and outsiders. If you follow, if you admire and listen to and talk about everything that's taught in the media by these shows, oh, look at that. One of them was MASH, Alan Alda. You know what the message is of MASH? The movie was good. The message of MASH, the TV show, was don't be an authoritarian. So you have this swashbuckling guy in the Korean War, MASH, and he's not even wearing his uniform right. And then it comes down to the plot of the show, and he has done expert surgery and everything. So the plot was don't be an authoritarianism. The message in All in the Family was don't abuse your wife and things like that. But the messages are in there. There's about 6 of them. And if you don't believe in them, if you don't go along with them, you're an outsider. And that would be the same as in the South being black. All it is they're just trying to get rid of people. Has nothing to do with racism. Has to do with, like, it's easier just to get rid of him. You can't hide the fact that he's black. Get him out of here. We don't want him to have a job. That was the South, all the way up until the 1960s. Now, if they want to get rid of you now, look at me. I'm short. I'm old. I'm weak. I'm crippled. Those are exactly the ones that the Nazis were killing. We don't need any short, old, crippled, weak people eating our food around here. We're just going to gas them to death with the Jews, with the people that believe in God, with the people that won't work or were born crippled or deformed. It's called master race, totalitarianism. The only thing that fascism means is this, that the police enforce it. That's all it is, a police state. Somebody makes the rules, and if you don't follow it, they come and get you and drag you out of the house and cut your fingers off with loppers. Or you can go along with it. And that's the plot of 1984, that book by George Orwell. At the end, he gets rehabilitated and he loves Big Brother. So this is a 15 minutes talk. And I'm doing the best I can. I did it tonight. I got it done. This place is helping me. A beautiful nursing home in Las Vegas. But I still have to cover these topics of, I don't know who was stalking me and slandering me all these years. I don't know how they did it. I continually waited for them to make it right and be just, and they never did. So tell Dr. Phil, okay?